Humble.
I know. It's like you got me on a. I'm not my home base. I'm in an Airbnb right now. Like
You sound good though.
huh?
That's almost like weird Airbnb.
Yeah. So
is there a rocking horse over there?
Airbnb when I travel, it's a lot cheaper. I have room to do laundry. Right. I get to stay in better, cooler places. I've stayed in mansions on mountainsides for the same price as a hotel room. Right. This is a nice 2-bedroom apartment I got to myself, full apartment, and it's $60-$70 less than a room night at a hotel. And it's close to the place I'm staying, and I can cook my dinner here and just relax. So, I like
Dominic, how are you doing today, Dominic?
I'm doing great, Jay.
Do you need to finish that game?
He's looking down a lot.
I know.
No, what is so important down there? I want to know what's down there. All right, let's play. There? Audience, play along with us. What is Dominic looking at? And we should do like graphics. So
maybe it's like a mustard stain on his sweater.
Huh? It is the tariff index. What's that? He's doing scratchers. See, this is how you protect against tariffs. Scratching.
Oh boy.
Lots of lottery tickets, right? How's my sound? I'm really kind of digging having this lavalier thing.
No, I like it when you have your mic.
My deep, rich baritone.
It's kind of your shtick.
Does it still sound okay? Is it?
You sound great. Yeah, you sound good. Anyways, we have a legend on the show tonight. A great guest for everyone's going to be listening to this, and Dominic is excited through the moon.
Fly,
Dominic. Put the scratch ticket to the side, like kids.
Stop looking down and scratching,
yes,
Dom. That's
Stop.
Stop looking down and scratching.
Stop it.
I'm ready.
There's flakes everywhere.
Anyways, we got a great guest on tonight. It's so cool. I think that's why Beck got all dressed up. You did, didn't you? Exactly. He got all dressed up. Anyways, legend in the really, sorry, go ahead, Beck. Producer, director, writer.
This is new to me. I've been on the road.
Content creator.
I said this is new. I've been on the road. Who are we meeting with? I saw it's Theresa. I'm excited about her. What are we talking about? What's her jam?
Well, we're going to jam a little bit about an event that she has that in Toronto that's happening right now with chefs and stuff like this, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're talking. Oh, you had to do that, eh?
I know.
You had to do that, eh?
Shamelessly plug for her. Let's see how that feels.
It's a dine around event with some of the Toronto's most exciting chefs. 2025 Chefs Showcase, an event by Christine Cushing. Sorry.
I bet they're going to crush it.
I think crush it. All right. So it's going to be amazing. This is coming up April 24th. Theresa's a big part of this. So we want to talk about this event and what it's all about. I think I've heard a lot about it in the past.
I've heard Dine Around.
Theresa. Oh, sorry, Dom.
Sorry, yeah, I've heard of Dine Around.
Yeah. That's good. Thanks for joining us.
I think Christine Cushing had a show on the Food Network before.
Yeah, that's where I've seen her before, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we can get her on the show.
Yeah.
You guys behave.
See.
Anyways, so we have a great guest. She's going to talk about that. We're talking a little bit about the tariffs. They did happen today, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So if you're listening to this podcast later on, hopefully they're done by then, but they might be still happening. So we did talk about it. It's interesting. Did you even hear about it down there, Beck?
I told you I don't play in the circus. I stay away from any news. I cast my votes, and that's it. Out of that, I've got done with my participation.
Okay, you didn't hear about it.
Yeah. Well,
we heard about it.
I've heard about it. I know about it, and without oversimplifying or trivializing it, I can only imagine what it's doing to a lot of people. That's serious, right? I saw you posting a thing. I don't know if it was LinkedIn or Facebook about every Canadian should have a maple leaf flag sticking out of their burgers and food, and I love that. And I don't know if you saw my response. I'd one up that. I say,
did you up it?
Support Canada should have it on their burgers too.
I didn't know. I saw that. I was reading it Well, that's awesome, Beck.
I think that would be a fun little thing, like just
Oh, it was great. But I actually saw that. I was like trying to figure out how they would do that in their front yard.
No, I'm talking about in their burgers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Restaurants said, bing, 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 but that's the cost. But you can always put up a flag in your front yard as a bumper sticker. We like showing stuff. Not a bad cause.
Do you think we can mess with Dominic while he stares at the table?
I am going to start doodling on his head.
I know. I'm going to doodle on his head too.
Doodle on his head. It's going to be a tariff stamp.
So, Dominic, we get to talk a little about tariffs, a little political.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working on some stuff that me and Jay and somebody else we're working on some.
Oh, you keep working on that.
Are you talking about the scratchers, or are you talking about other things?
That's the tactic. Dominic, keep scratching, buddy. We'll leave you alone.
Are you a big ticket guy? Are those like $20, or are you a dollar scratcher? What's your jam there, gambler?
It's
on a warm summer's evening, he's scratching a lot of tickets.
Anyways, let's do the intro. Have this amazing guest that we have on, and then Dominic, will you be done by then?
I will.
Okay. Because you would give me poo poo if I did that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Jay.
So we're gonna cut away in 3,
2,
1.
Theresa, welcome to the Late Night Restaurant Show.
Hi.
Hey,
How
Theresa.
are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Hello. Excellent.
Theresa.
Excellent.
Thank you for joining. And sorry for the long intro, Dominic. We had to get him to finish his scratch and win ticket.
Yeah, I was in the green room wondering what game he was playing.
See? Our watchers, our viewers want to know. They deserve to know, dang it, Dominic.
Well, one was bingo. One was one was crossword, and most of it was really doing some stuff I was supposed to be doing while we're on a show. But like I said, we're working on a project that we hope to announce soon, and there's lots of stuff to be done. So my apologies.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's very Canadian to apologize to get
it's
started.
really not.
Oh, good. We're good.
So,
Sorry,
Theresa, did you see that we did this? We did a article a couple of weeks ago about every burger in Canada should have one of these in it.
Well, I'm American as well as Canadian, and my big objection to Canadian burgers is they're always overcooked.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'll put the flag in it, but please don't burn it.
Can I tell you how that can be avoided?
Well done?
Sorry, guys, you talked over each other.
Sorry,
Try
Dominic,
again.
I did that. That was my fault. Maybe a little delay over here. So I know that like in certain states, you don't have to have it well done. Some they mandate well done, right?
No, they don't mandate well done. They mandate cook to temp. So this is how that could be. This is how that could be avoided. Very simply, restaurants don't do that.
They burn it.
In reality,
They burn it.
In reality, in Canada, the only people that cook burgers properly. Okay, and we might get a sponsorship out of this.
Here it comes.
McDonald's.
Hashtag McDonald's.
Whoa.
Okay, wait a second. Hey, before you say
Teresa.
anything,
I gotta change my face.
remember, it's the same every time. It's not dry ever. You know how they achieve that?
But I'm also convinced it's not meat.
No, it's meat. It's 100% meat. We're not going to badmouth them, but what I'm getting at is everyone
else will.
They do time and temperature control. Okay. they've got it down to a science, and they know, hey, this 4 or 5.5 ounce burger takes this long at this temperature in this equipment, and they can hit it and nail it every time. Now, we've talked about consistency on our show before we we veer off too far. We've talked about consistency and restaurants upping their game and doing things properly and making sure they have standard operating procedures. If the restaurant that you went to, Theresa, had an SOP for that burger and they said, cook it to 71 Celsius and then take it off the grill, they don't even have to have fancy equipment. You would never get a dry burger because you don't have to.
Yep.
You're
but God knows right. You do. You do.
So that's Safe Check training. It's a training thing.
Oh, wait a minute. That was awesome. That's all you did. I admire
Food safety
that.
police. Food safety police.
Did you see that segue into that, guys?
Is there Shameless a jingle? Plug? You should have a jingle too. What's your jingle?
Wow.
So,
I love that. By the way, point of trivia.
You know, the dry burger can have a Canadian flag.
Yeah, but is it anything to be proud of?
So before we move on from McDonald's, real quick point of trivia. So my family's all in Germany. I'm the first generation American, and every time I go there, they say the stupid joke, which is
that everybody's in Germany into every show.
What's that?
I was asking Jay if Michael Beck,
he's from a different part of the country every show.
No, if he works in, you're not going to talk about your military service, are you?
Not this time.
Okay.
Sorry, Theresa.
It's always anecdotal. I think it has to do with being neurospicy and trying to be relatable. But I'll finish up. So every time I go to Germany, visit my family, they say the same stupid joke. When I go by the McDonald's, they go, "Look, Mickey, it's the American Embassy."
Oh.
That was
anyways, focus, gentlemen. Be good.
Sorry, Theresa.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So Theresa, let's talk about this event.
I have brothers. I get this.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. We've got 3 guys that.
She could have said she has squirrels and gotten the same place.
Can't argue with you there.
All right. Focus, Dominic. Anyways, so Theresa, you have this event coming up here with the Junior League of Toronto. What is the Junior League of Toronto? What is that?
Junior League it's actually a great history. The Toronto chapter is going to be 100 years old next year. Wow. But it was an organization that started in the southern U.S., and it was a group of women well over 100 years ago at a time when women of a certain social strata didn't work. They weren't supposed to work. And there was a group of relatively young women who found that very frustrating. And they decided that they wanted to do something. They wanted to affect change in their community. And they put together this group of women who started to wield a great deal of power. And junior leagues have been popping up all over North America for well over 100 years. In Toronto, I mean, I had great fun looking through the archives a few years ago at some of the things that the women had accomplished. Things like putting beds in Sick Kids Hospital when Sick Kids Hospital was first built. Who knew that, it was the Junior League that was out there raising money to do this kind of work. When I first joined Junior League, they had just finished. Actually, first time I did anything with Junior League was as a TV producer, because they used to do a show house every couple of years. They'd bring in designers, they'd reclaim an old historic property and turn it into something fabulous. And of course, designers were tripping over themselves to grab a room to do this. And I actually was shooting it for a couple of different shows I was working on at the time. Thought it was a really interesting organization. I got involved, I guess, about 8 years ago. And at that point, the focus was very much nutrition, is very much breakfast for children in schools that need it, proper lunches, so on and so forth. And that was kind of right up my street, having been so involved with the culinary world through doing a lot of TV shows about food. And then it kind of morphed into dealing with mental health issues. And through them, through the mental health center here in Toronto, we connected with George Brown Foundation because they have what they call the asset program, and they take people who have had addiction issues or mental health issues and put them in a couple of different programs to help them sort of re-enter the workforce. One is culinary and the other is the building trades. We got involved in culinary when we found out that a lot of these young people who go into Queen Street Mental Health Center with literally nothing, and they come into the program, they get kind of to about a commis level so that they can go out and work in the industry. But the challenge is these people had nothing. They didn't have money to buy proper shoes for the kitchen or, chef's pants or get a decent haircut so they could go to an interview. When we found that out, we thought, as the Junior League, we need to do something about this. So we got together and thought, we're going to put on this event with professional chefs and invite the public to come and spend their money and eat and have a great time, match food to wines. And we give the money to George Brown Foundation, and they give the money to these people who are going out into the world. And this enables them to buy the chef's knife they need for the gig or the shoes or whatever. But also, we, through Junior League, do other initiatives as well, a lot of them around mental health. So it's a great, big, juicy event where you literally get a chance to meet and talk to chefs that most people don't get a chance to talk to. For the last couple of years, Dufflet Rosenberg has been there. And everybody who's ever gone and bought a Dufflet cake at Loblaws or at a bakery, they just adore her, and her table always has a huge line.
And they're fantastic. Their stuff is excellent. It really is.
Well, we were talking about consistency. Her stuff is amazing.
They nailed it in every single thing they do. They're a bakery in Toronto, but they sell product right across Canada. Dufflet.
Oh, absolutely. And it's always the quality of a bakery, not a factory.
A good bakery.
Yeah.
Not just a bakery.
A good bakery.
Really good.
Exactly. And the last couple of years, we've also had, and we will again this year, have Chef Nui regular. And I mean, there are people waiting in line to get into Pie and her other restaurants. Celebrities are like salivating over her food, and this woman is amazing. So and the other one we have this year that's a big get is Chef Nick Liu, Iron Chef Nick. So Dilo restaurant, he has a new restaurant. I've shot with Nick when I was shooting Confucius Was a Foodie with Chef Christine Cushing. And in fact, this year, Chef Christine Cushing is being awarded the Culinary Trailblazer Award. Wow. So it's an award that the JLT came up with. And the idea is to celebrate a woman who's really changed the culinary landscape of Canada. The first year we did it was 3 years ago, and it was Elizabeth Baird. And Elizabeth Baird was the first food editor of Canadian Living Magazine. Then she went on to have TV shows.
Can I ask?
Sorry, say that again?
When did Elizabeth Baird become the first editor of Canadian Living?
Oh my God, we're going to play Trivia Pursuit. But
I'm just curious. I know the name. I'm not sure where I know the name from.
Elizabeth Baird. Oh my God, she has written so many cookbooks.
Okay.
So I mean, half my cookbook library has her name on it. But I honestly, Dominic, I think it was probably, I'm going to say late 60s, early 70s.
I'm not that old, man.
But
yeah, he is.
The truth comes out.
The truth comes out. But and then our second culinary trailblazer was Bonnie Stern. And Bonnie Stern, again, you know, I mean, I can't even begin to count how many cookbooks that woman has, how many television shows she has, how popular she is both in Europe, particularly Israel, and because of her work with Jewish cooking and Jewish cuisines. This year, it's Chef Christine Cushing. And I mean, interesting that the first time I met Christine was when I was about to produce her show on Food Network. The flagship show for Food Network for 4 years was Christine Cushing Live.
Wow.
And, you know, sorry, say it again.
I miss her show. I miss a lot of those original shows.
Oh my God, so do I.
I think it's a generational thing because a lot of the, I think that a lot of the new ones seem kind of fake. Sorry.
Are you talking about like the Jacques Pepin, Dominic, or Yan Can Cook, or Justin, the Creole guy from back in the day?
More progressive than Jacques Pepin, and who was the guy from that used to be on PBS from Louisiana?
That was Justin. Woo boy, no Creole and spices.
The Creole, yeah,
that guy. Yeah. So after, probably a little bit after them, but for Canada, what would have been the early '80s, mid '80s?
No, 90.
The '90s, yeah.
90s. And I mean, we were live. We were really live. Like we had a 2-second time delay. That was just enough time to hit the button if somebody said something they shouldn't say. But you know what? It never got hit. You know, and we played with some really fun people. Anthony Bourdain, Tom Colicchio, Nigella Lawson, Jamie Oliver. We had them live in studio.
Wow.
It was 4 amazing years. And Christine went on to do other shows after that. And then I had come up with a show called Confucius Was a Foodie. And when I was learning about Chinese cuisines and the complexity of Chinese cuisines and culture, and I wanted a chef who had natural curiosity as a host, and somebody that I could throw into any kind of situation and she can roll with it. And I knew it was Christine. I knew she was the right person. So
what was the thing that vibed with you so hard that made you feel that like that tuning fork of truth that she was it? What was it?
The tuning fork of truth.
Yeah. That's what I can say.
I like that.
Resonates when you know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had sat in the control room for 4 years as questions came in, because we took live questions on air.
No way.
And, you know, I mean, if like we did crazy stuff on that show, but we were having constantly people calling in and asking questions, and it could be related to, you know, Marcus Samuelson's dish that he was cooking with her at the time, or it could be a total non sequitur. And she's like a freaking encyclopedia. She's got so much in her head about food on so many different levels. And yet there's this incredible honesty with her. If she doesn't know, she's never going to bullshit you. She's going to tell you, I don't know. And I love that about her. I love that she's the real deal. She's, as Dominic said, you know, you see the fakey.
Yep.
Nah, not with Christine. I mean, sometimes, you know, we had to go, oh my God, is she ever going to stop laughing on live television and shut up and please freaking start cooking? And I mean, we'd be holding up signs in the studio, tell her to get cooking. She was having too much fun.
Yeah. I think what
But
Dominic's talking about is that overproduced feeling. Like this is the you can see too many fingerprints of production on it, right?
We're on the underproduced side on our side. But.
Yeah, we do the opposite. Yeah, we go the other way.
But I knew I could take this woman and throw her into a kitchen with a wok.
Well, good thing you weren't going to get into. You could take her and beat her down because you did that. Was the Chinese one like a kung fu one? No.
No, we never did. Although there was a mountaintop in Taiwan with noodles that were, you had to stomp on them and then pull. I mean, like seriously, Christine was killing herself laughing. It was about 175 degrees because they have a furnace running in the tropics to dry the noodles. She was laughing, jumping on the noodles, and
so you literally stomp on these noodles. These aren't stretchy bounty.
No,
this is
this
ball in the thing stomping.
You gotta stomp on them first.
I want to stomp some noodles. Where do I get to stomp some noodles?
Well, you've got to. We're still on the air. Confucius Was a Foodie is still on the air in many countries around the world. PBS still runs it. So if you get a chance, catch it on PBS and you can see her doing kung fu noodle stretching and jumping and riding sticks that pound. I mean, it's amazing. And she did it. She ran with it. And, this is a woman who basically, I feel like she was a big part of teaching a generation about food. And
Theresa, you said that was your baby.
I think really good choice. I really was, because of maybe because of all the things, probably because of all the things you just said, right? But it was, here it is this many years later, 20 years later, and we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
So
sorry, Mark, you had a question?
You gave birth to Confucius as a foodie. This was your baby?
That was my baby, yeah.
So just coincidentally enough, I carry this guy with me every trip I go on. And he's about as symbolic of what you're talking about right here, which is Homer Simpson on a donut. Everywhere I go, I take a picture with him.
Yeah, which is surprisingly, so I'm just going to plug it because next week we actually have Bill Oakley on the show from The Simpsons. He's coming back next week.
Which, yeah.
Good try. Good job back.
Or slightly connected. That's
all. Sorry. Anyways, Theresa, that's going to be awesome though. Like, so are you in any other, like, what are you doing today when it comes to TV? Are you doing more productions or producing stuff?
Yeah. I'm heavily involved in a production company based in LA, and we have a lot of projects in development right now. One in particular that is I don't even know how to describe it. It's the largest abandoned mansion in North America. Is in northern Ontario. It was purchased by a Texan who was bored one night.
Monacan
he was just looking at stuff on the internet, got kind of down that rabbit hole. And by morning, he was making arrangements to buy a 65,000 square foot mansion on Lake Temiskaming, about 6 hours north and slightly west of Toronto. And there's everything from a murder that was a real murder that just happened recently, to bankruptcies, to somebody stole an airplane, to did they really move that cemetery to get the road in there? So it's a fascinating story.
I've seen the series, a mini documentary on that place,
Mansion Impossible.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
It's called Mansion. The series is called Mansion Impossible. Anybody who's into, as they call it, decay porn has seen all the stuff.
Decay porn. Wait, let's just make a clarification.
New category for me, though. My wife likes murder porn because she's married to me.
Well, then I'd be pizza porn. But
there's a lot of
Pizza
Dateline in
porn.
our house.
Jeez.
It's a blueprint.
But go on YouTube and look up Mansion Impossible, and you'll see, because that's how we sell shows today. You know, you have to go on YouTube, you get your audience, and then you go to a streamer or a network and say, "Hey, this is
Really?
a great project." Oh yeah, yeah.
There's your
It's
pilot,
called-
right?
It's called added value. What else are you bringing us other than a good idea?
Yeah. You already
That's
have an
pretty
audience.
Yeah.
There you go, Beck.
I'm gonna start on YouTube. Is that what's going on?
So we gotta go to YouTube, I
We
guess.
gotta get on YouTube. I heard there's this YouTube thing out there. I hear the kids love it.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
Hey, it's the largest broadcaster.
It
Bigger
is.
than Netflix,
Yeah,
bigger than
absolutely.
Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's
How'd you get into all this?
overtaken WTube.
Say that again.
It's overtaken T-Tube, and it's near WTube has been crushed.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
He's got dad jokes today. Teresa, how'd you get started in all of this? Like, I love origin stories. Like, what got you on the path that into media and production and producing?
I started on the other side. I started as a performer.
Okay.
I was a
Oh, wow.
professional dancer for many years.
Mhm.
Got into doing choreography. Did choreography for video, for commercials, for film, television, and kind of got hooked on what I could manipulate and how I could make things different through editing. And I guess I'm a natural producer. So got into it that way, and have done so much food television because I love food. I love chefs. I love creative people.
Yeah.
And that was a gravitational force.
You like bakers?
Pulled bakers? Oh, yeah, way too much.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Dominic's a baker. That's why he asked.
Are you, Dominic?
Oh.
But
He's
you
got
know,
a bag of semolina next to him right now.
my baking idol is Anna Olson. So, and Christine also is a pastry chef. So, yeah.
Oh no.
Can you, Dominic?
Look at, he's all excited. He's probably got a poster
He's blushing over there
in his kitchen.
Oh,
somewhere.
looks like he's
He's like, oh my God.
He's all the butter.
We always have to hear every show, Teresa, a story about
Mike's muted.
I'm going to get one of our previous guests on who will tell us it's the second time I've ever brought it up, and I never even did. I just asked, what does she love bakers as well?
But it was so playful and coy.
But yeah, who doesn't want to be loved?
Exactly.
My face hurts. Ow.
So, Teresa, let's shift it to just a little bit of today's the conversation. First of all, thank you again for joining us three schmuckles. Let's talk a little about this tariff thing that happened today, and what's your take on this? Because you're part of this industry and really an elite part of the industry. I feel it's a very honor to have you join us. But what is that? What's your take on this tariff thing that's happening right now through not only our country, but it is going to have an effect on our industry? And what's your take on this?
Well, it's going to affect both sides. I do believe that if this is a big if intelligence had been factored into the decision making, there wouldn't be tariffs. There's a reason that North America has had a free trade agreement for decades. We have not had, and I will tell you that not everybody in my family back at home agrees with me, and home is Michigan. There's always been some push and pull about who's on top when it comes to how much are you selling your lumber for, how much are you selling that carburetor for. There's always going to be that. I mean, just like my brothers argue, countries argue, and everybody wants to have the upper hand. But I don't think between the United States, America, Canada, and Mexico, that there has ever been before now a sense of, I will beat you into financial submission. And there's more stories to come out. There's more layers behind this that are exemplified by why we're getting different reasons every time we turn on the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bigger, uglier story, and I sincerely hope that people in my country of origin will wake up and realize they're looking at a huge problem. And it's a problem of their own making, and they're going to have to fix it.
Without getting too deep here,
Here he goes.
I did well, but this is the truth.
I know. Here he goes.
I think I agree with everything you say. By the way, every single thing is correct. And me and Jay have talked about this. There's kind of the smoke over here, but really the fire's way over here. Yeah. There's other motives. It's not fentanyl. It's not immigration by any stretch of the imagination. So most people know that. And most Americans might not. But overwhelmingly, he was elected as the president of the United States. So, like it or not, and most people in Canada don't like it. And a lot of people in the United States don't like it. People in Kentucky who sell a lot of booze to Canada don't like it. Mm-hmm. Michigan, who has thousands of trucks going back and forth to Canada every day through Windsor, that industry is highly integrated. They definitely do not like it. So, but we have to remember that he did state that he was going to do it, and the population still voted for him and still voted for him in an overwhelming fashion. So you can disagree with every part of it. And it probably is.
I wouldn't say overwhelming. I would say he won, because overwhelming would be a lopsided. It was darn close.
Well, but it was a bigger majority than Biden had.
Yeah.
It was a bigger majority than he had. Like his last one was a squeaker, right? It was a bigger majority than Bush had. It was a bigger majority than whoever it was before him.
Yeah.
But Dominic, I think there's something bigger here. I think
there is. You're right.
On not only the jazz hands over here, look over here, but there is an ugly reality.
There's a bigger world.
Most I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about the U.S., my home country. So I'll throw the stones. Most people in the U.S. do not understand government. They think they live in a democracy. They don't understand. They live in a limited democracy / republic. They don't understand that. They don't understand what a tariff is. They don't understand that it hurts both sides, not just one. They don't understand. Yeah. They don't understand what fascism is. They don't understand. There's a great guy who's doing this amazing thing online on TikTok and Instagram, where he takes a world map into Times Square, and he asks the average person walking around Times Square, can you identify this country? Or do you know, my favorite one was asking a young woman, looked to be mid to late 20s, do you know what country borders the United States? And she went, I think Europe's up there somewhere. And
it's true though. I mean, yes, and everybody still gets a vote. Every moron still has a vote.
Exactly. I mean, this guy actually put a map on an easel, and Americans could not find the U.S. on the map.
Well,
we're talking about an education system that has failed people, that the concept of teaching civics went by the wayside. Government is not taught.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
Can I add to that, Theresa? Because I think this is also a compounding thing, and one might argue us being right here, which I hope we're not, are part of a part of the problem. But I don't think we are. Previously, who were our teachers? Right? When we were growing up, who were our teachers? Who were the people that taught us? Our teachers, our parents. They were involved, right? Who are the teachers for the current crop? Any idiot that's loud enough to be on a microphone on a screen.
Yep.
Any idiot that wants to spout flat Earth. Any idiot that wants to talk sovereign citizen, right? Any idiot.
Conspiracy theories. Yeah.
They're all of it. And so those are the teachers. Those are the modern educators, which is propagating an idiocracy of uneducated people or people that are misinformed that will then glam on to whatever next idiot is up there. And I think, and I'll just put it out there, I like Howard Stern, but he also predicated this coming, right? And now we end up with a shock jock president, and big surprise. It's the same idiots that love that.
Yeah.
And I love Howard. I like this stuff, but I'm not throwing anybody on a bus that likes Howard Stern or whatever the voting thing is. But I think overall that there's a common thread here, that access to information is freely given now, and the quality information has dropped significantly. It is the stupid leading the stupider.
Yeah.
Right. And there's not much in intersecting that point to say, no, this is not it. Right. Which would have been a good educator or a tight family unit that would be teaching these kids something different and not letting the TV be the babysitter or the internet be the babysitter.
Yeah.
Well, take some time and just do some freaking fact checking.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's not rocket science. We've all got Google.
But they're not going to seek out the facts. They're not going to seek out mainstream facts. You're going to find facts where you want your facts, right? So I'm going to seek it from somewhere else. Somebody's going to seek it from Fox News. They're going to seek out their own truth.
Yeah.
That's why it's so delicate when we say, let me win you over. You're not going to win them over.
Social media thing, as soon as you click some really bad information, guess what?
Now you're on the algorithm.
Yeah, you're getting bad information after bad information. And here in Canada, we could say with this online streaming act or whatever they came out with, you can't get your regular news on streaming services in Canada now. On social networks. So now, to Michael's point, I get nothing but trash.
Yeah.
I don't even have the access to the real news. So I used to go there and scroll, and that's where you'd see your stuff, because CTV and CBC and Global and even the smaller news outlets, their stuff was up there. But now their stuff is not up there.
Yeah.
So all I see is the stuff you just described. So it makes it even worse. So we can throw stones for sure. We're only slightly better here.
No, that's why I said I was first to point this part out, that we do something that may have the opportunity to share bad information. I don't think we're guilty of it, right? But that's why I want to be careful.
Canada's got a lot of its own problems. I think our mistake has been that we relied so heavily on one partner, the United States. We, even under previous governments, so it's pretty easy to say, hey, Trudeau did this over the last 9 years. Other governments had 9 and 10 years as well. They can say they started the process. I'm on that side of that spectrum, and I would say they did a bad job of expanding our markets to world markets. They did a lot of good things, but they're still also slightly guilty of some of the things they're accusing the current government of. The current, but also remember, our current prime minister is disrespected around the world because he's an idiot. He's just a flat out idiot. He's not a smart guy. And he antagonizes people around the world with his holier than thou, I'm super smart, I'm a feminist, I know all these things, when in reality he doesn't. I think he's sadly naive about how the world works. And that has not served Canada well.
So on the side of positive movement, right? Like, we broke it all down. What's the light? Where is the leadership in the direction that takes us as individuals to lead whatever our little corners of the world to the right destination?
Thank you, Mr. Beck.
Yeah.
I want to jump in on this because I have two takes on this, and Theresa, I want to share you my thoughts on this. Thanks, Dominic. So we got to massage him once in a while. My take is that over the last, I don't know how long, maybe last 40 years, we've done a poor job of marketing who we are in the American space. And that is, I look at this more from a business side, is that if I'm running a business right now and we teach Beck so much about Canada, it's crazy. We teach you a lot about what's going on up here. I look at it from a business side of a marketing opportunity. We have not done a good job of marketing, not necessarily like when you go down there and you ask about Canada, there's always like 5 or 4 top things. It's bacon, maple syrup, beavers. They look at us through those lenses. And I think there's more there if they understood our relationship from a business side or more about who and how we work together in our partnership. I think we could do a better job marketing who we truly are as a country and not as a joke in a sense a lot of the times. And that goes from TV shows at night to how we're representative. I think we did a bad job of that. And I take that as how we look as go forward. And we're starting to see that now as we get into more of a serious conversation is, hey, you look on the news channels and we have premiers on the news channels in the States. They're educating people about who we truly are in our relationship. And I blame that from just, it's really, I don't want to blame anyone, but I think it's just the way it's been. But I look at it from a business side, and I wouldn't market my business that way. You wouldn't market your restaurant that way. You would make sure they clearly know what you offer and what you do. And you would still take the jokes, but hey, there's always that serious conversation time. And we've had some people, Jim Carrey did that. He talked about our healthcare on one of the shows about the seriousness and really letting people understand who we truly are. So I take the situation that we are in today a lot of the times because Trump would have been grown up and through his life, through that comedy time of Canada. So take us serious, but we have to look at in the mirror a little bit and go, did we really market ourselves truly to who we truly are in that relationship? So I don't think we did enough.
And never mind to the United States, to the rest of the world.
To the rest of the world. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's opportunities. We need to look at us more professional in a sense of how we show up to the world as and I always say this, right now we do not need my mind, and this is just my perspective, so take it for what it is. Right now we don't need a politician going to talk to Mr. Trump. We need a sales guy. And we need the 1980 used car sales guy in Mississauga going down to make a deal with Mr. Trump.
Danielle
that
Smith
is who we need.
And Doug Ford have spoken more to the United States about what Canada is. And you're right. They've put on the charm offensive with senators and politicians down there about sort of what's going on. And the states that do trade with Canada a lot, they understand the relationship.
Yeah.
There's thousands of jobs that rely on it. They fully understand it. And to what Theresa was saying earlier, Donald Trump also understands. Like, don't fool yourself that he doesn't know what's going on. I think he knows. He does know. It's a bigger, broader play. It just is. And
said
what
that
you
from the
said earlier
beginning,
today, Jay, that tomorrow they're gonna, announce maybe they've hit some middle ground. A, he doesn't want to lose face. B, he needs all those governors and senators saying, "Are you nuts? Like, we can't stop selling 30% of our exports to Canada. We're going to lay off 10,000 people. Like, how the hell are you going to support those? Like, we're not going to drink that much booze." What I did here today, which was really smart, is Canada should immediately stop all excise taxes on all the things they're putting tariffs on. So the booze that we have excise tax on and coming in or going out to the States that they're taxing, we should cut that internally to zero so that immediately all Canadian products are 25% less.
Yeah.
Because Canadians will, we're wrapping ourselves around Canadiana, but also
it's the best thing. That's it. That is the best thing that's come out of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
That
also,
and getting rid of interprovincial nonsense.
Lower 100%. As much as you're putting tariffs on their incoming products, lower our export price by 25%, so that so if you really wanted to continue selling without affecting our manufacturing, our workers, we would lower the price of the product by 25%. So there's no impact on them importing in the States. Now, that's bad because the consumer doesn't get hit in the States, and it only will change if the consumer in the States feels it. Oh, my fuel went up $1. Oh, my Canadian rye whiskey, instead of being $40 is now $50. Holy shit, right? So that's the unfortunate part of that. But Doug Ford has said, we're going to turn off the electricity. That would, and there's a million homes that are going to get affected by that. We're stop buying all U.S. booze. That's going to be a big impact. Danielle Smith here has said, we're not going to stop shipping oil. But guess what? They're getting a little tougher today because he really went through with it. But to what me and Jay have spoken about for months, if we thought it was never going to happen, we were naive, because he will not. The president down there is not going to lose face over any of this, right? In a week or two or 3 or 4 days after the big headlines have happened, maybe enough pressure will happen to change things. But I like the fact that the Canadiana, all of a sudden, to what Jay was saying earlier, even we're rallying around ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our charm offensive has never been good, even within Canada, never mind to the outside world. And Beck, as you may or may not know, we have more interprovincial trade barriers than we have with the outside world.
So it's easier for us, Beck, to sell to you in the United States than it is for us to sell to the province beside us.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Which makes no
Yeah,
sense.
well, I thought I think that's interesting too. I was working with a Canadian company. Actually, you know them, Shreen, and the guys over here, right? And I was really surprised to find it's extremely hard just to hire inside of Canada if they aren't in the same province. It's a whole different lift.
100%.
Right? Like remote work is a whole different game up there too. It's prohibitive.
Try bringing your 2003 Mini Cooper across the border. It's a nightmare.
Isn't that the girl from the Wonder Years? Well, that's Winnie Cooper. Never mind.
Winnie Cooper. No, exactly. But anyways, it's a great conversation. I also don't want to take all Teresa's time tonight. And thank you, Theresa, because I know it's late there in Toronto.
What is the name of your Maine Coon?
This is Emily. The other one who was here is Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, they're Maine Coons, though, right? That's the breed?
They are, yeah.
Yeah, they're lovers. They are right in your face.
And demand attention.
Absolutely. I had one that had dew claws like Steinbeck's.
Oh,
not Steinbeck. Was it Hemingway? Hemingway.
Hemingway had the 6-toed cats.
Yeah, I had 6-toed cat. It was a 6-toed Maine Coon. You look like a little boxing mitts.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great.
So cool.
They're lots of fun.
Yeah, they are.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Jay, I need some cat action in.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Cats are good. I've got a couple upstairs. Theresa, thanks again for your time tonight.
You're
also,
most
Sarah
welcome.
Sarah Waxman says hi.
Okay. That's a nice connection.
Yes.
Sarah was at Chef Showcase last year.
Yes, and Sarah has started a podcast. I produce a podcast with Sarah once a week as well.
Excellent. Okay.
So
Well, we'll have to get Sarah talking about Chef Showcase for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We've had her on this show actually, right, Dominic? Yeah.
Dominic,
he's muted.
Yes, we have. And we had a lot of fun with Sarah and her son after. Actually,
Adam as well. It was awesome. Well, thanks again, Theresa. All the best.
Most
and
welcome.
Let's stay in touch. We're going to promote the Junior League of Toronto's event here. It's outstanding. And thanks again for chatting with us and talking shop. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem. Nice to meet you guys.
What are the dates that the event's happening on?
April 24th in Toronto at the George Brown Culinary Center.
Okay. And then they can find that on the organization's website?
Yeah, a JLT. So you go to www.jlt.org.
There we go. We're going to put it out in this podcast. We're going to put it on the podcast link as well. And then also we're going to post it on our social channels and everywhere else for you as well. So
perfect. Thank you so much.
Spread the word. Awesome. Thanks so much, Theresa. All the best.
Have a great night.
Thanks
nice
again.
to meet you guys.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Yeah, we're back.
You're all giddy back.
I get to eat food. I've been working all day.
What are you going to eat in Seattle?
They have amazing food here, but I'm Airbnb-ing it. It's cold outside. I'm going to have something delivered, and I'm going to get back to work.
I'm going to snuggle to your computer?
Snuggle with my laptop and build a website.
Cool.
Dominic, you got all fired up tonight.
I was pretty calm, Jay.
There you go. Did you have coffee tonight? Sugar?
I didn't. I probably should have, but no, I did not.
No, it's okay. I got this board, so you guys never asked me about my board.
What about your board, Jay?
So I bought this board.
Do it.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, it's a board that you stand on.
Viewers have seasickness now, Jay.
This reminds Dominic, you'll get this. Remember the Tweety and Sylvester episode? The boat was walking to and fro, up and down.
To and fro.
So I bought this board that you stand on because I have a standing desk.
Because you're not animated enough, right? You're not moving enough in your normal day-to-day wacky, I move all the time.
No, it's supposed to be good for you because I bought standing desk. I thought, well, I better get one of these boards.
So is Red Bull, right, Jay?
What?
So is Red Bull good for you?
Yes, it is.
I don't know if I can
This moment is brought to you by Red Bull.
I'm going to put this out here. I don't know if I can do metronome, Jay.
I agree. Yeah, it's good for you, but it wrecks your ankles probably. Right?
No, I'll show you. It's really cool.
We don't want to see it, Jay.
This is my board.
Wow.
Wow.
Very, very boardy.
Right?
Jay, can I ask you something? Jay?
Yeah.
Do you remember like late night TV after like 2 a.m. and Ron Popeil would get on there and he'd sell you the Showtime knives, which I own, by the way, or the Showtime rotisserie chicken.
A sharp knife would cut through a tomato.
The Floby.
Like the black hair.
The Floby. That's what happened to Dominic's hair, by the way. Origin story.
He was attacked by a Floby.
Floby accident.
Floby accident. Early 90s.
It was called the Silky Smooth 2000.
The slap chop.
Yep, the slap shot.
You're going to like my nuts.
No, that's not what I had.
You're like my nuts.
He said it, man. Did you buy a lot of that stuff?
No, I didn't. I didn't, but it's funny you say that.
Did you
I did a show once. I'm not kidding you. What?
Columbia House for a penny a record or whatever it was.
Yeah, no. It was a Columbia House. It was a penny
House.
for 10
They had their hooks into you for life.
Yeah, I bought one of those.
And then we went to Bally's Fitness, and then they got their hooks into you for life.
No. I want to mention though, I did a show once, and it was the rice guy. I won't say Matt's name,
Mr.
but
Rice.
he was the rice guy, and we're doing a show on salads. And then I was doing the show. I'm not shitting you. Doing the show, and then Matt's like, "Well, I like my nuts roasted," and then I'm like, "Oh." Okay. So
we've all got our preferences.
And then I start giggling away. He goes, I like to put my nuts on my salad all the time. I like putting a lot of nuts on here and stuff. And I'm like, oh no.
Stop putting the nuts everywhere.
So I always had a rule when we were doing cooking shows. You never had someone that had nuts in the recipe. There's a tip.
There's
unit cooking only.
Podcasting Hall of Fame just got the first tip.
First tip of the day. Tip of the year.
But
we could have David Roberts on because that's all he has is nuts.
Nuts?
He sells nuts.
Oh, okay.
Should we have David on? We should have David on. Should call him. He's a good guy. No?
Nuts.
Would you like the Italian sausage guy, Dominic?
Or Herb Froman.
Or Herb
It's Abe Froman.
Abe Froman. Shit.
Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago.
Do you know there's a sausage place in Regina called the Wiener Wagon?
I don't know if it's more disturbing. It's a place called Regina.
Sorry, that's true. I never thought of it. There's a place in Regina called
what? Do you know what a Regina is?
It's
nope. It's
place
for queen.
It's Latin for queen.
Regina is even in Italian. Regina is a queen.
Regina.
There's the Italian.
Regina.
That's
it's called. If you went there, it would be called the Queen City.
The Queen City.
Yeah.
With the Wiener Wagon.
That's a place that sells wieners, or it's shaped wiener.
Do you remember the Chuck Wagon commercial when we were kids growing up? It was a little guy. Yeah, and he had the thing, and the dogs chased him through the house.
Purina Chuck Wagon.
I imagine a wiener going through the house like that, just terrifying everybody.
When you get a chance, Beck, look up the House Hippo commercial. You'll appreciate that.
What?
Called
House Hippo?
House Hippo.
Hippo.
House
Hippo.
Like hungry.
No. House, like HOUSE. Hippo.
Not the hippo guy. The hippo
House
game.
Hippo commercial. It's kind of like the Chuck Wagon. Well, not really, but you'll appreciate the.
I'm all about it. I think I know more 1970s, 1980s TV jingles than I do modern songs.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm with you there, brother.
Yeah.
Facts of life.
You take the bag, take the both, and there you have the facts of life. All right.
I love that show. It was great.
Who's
the hottest? Who's the hottest?
I don't know. Blair was good, but then he was too stuck up. And then it was more about Joe Polnicek. But then you got the Tootie vibe. And you're like, so spicy.
What about the older lady, Dom?
He wants Mrs. Garrett. Full on.
Full on.
I think she was good looking. Was she good looking, Mrs. Garrett?
See, you've crossed that line, brother.
Yeah, but I felt that way in the 80s. What the heck?
You liked Alice from the housekeeper in Brady Bunch,
and how about
Flo? Want to play Sam the Butcher?
Flo from Mel's Diner.
Flo?
Yeah.
Kiss my grits.
Yeah. I like that show.
Who doesn't like Rue McClellan? From
Golden Girls.
Oh.
She was the hot.
She died just recently, didn't she?
I think she was one of the first ones, but the only one that's living, I think, is.
Isn't it Estelle Getty?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
She passed. I think they all passed. I think they're all gone now. When Betty went, I think they had a thing that they all.
She was the oldest in the show, but I think she lived the longest.
Yeah. Betty.
She's actually younger. That was the secret. She's younger than some of them.
No. In real life, she was, but on the show, wasn't Estelle Getty the
She was Ma.
Yeah.
Sicilian.
Yeah.
Right? No. Betty was the oldest that lived the longest.
Oh, you're right. But on the show, she wasn't the oldest.
No. Estelle was. Yeah, not that I watched every Golden Girls
show. The truth is all out there. We just admit it, boys. We watched that. We watched Murder, She Wrote. We watched all of it.
Matlock.
How about
Art Castle and McCormick?
On Gilligan's Island. I'm from Marianne.
Oh, did you ever watch? What was that other one? The island that they got abandoned on the island.
Mrs. Howell.
What's Marianne's real name in real life?
I don't know.
Dawn Wells.
Yeah. I think she just recently passed away.
She passed a couple of years ago. Tina Louise is still alive and looking very bizarre.
Wow. Tina Louise is still alive.
Hey, Beck.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Is Florida really like the Golden Girls? Is it like that? I had that vibe.
There's a magical place in Florida called the Villages. It is its own voting district. It's absolutely massive. It's where a lot of people go to retire. And so there are a lot of people floating around, and it is known to be, I hope people in Villages don't get mad at me, but it's kind of a national thing, highest incident rate of venereal disease among adults because they all party.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. So I guess there is the whole promiscuousness that they
I was just say not even close to my answer of Golden Girls in 5 minutes.
Well, I just remember the Golden Girls have a lot of fun with a lot of dudes.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't the heart. But I don't think that was the heartbeat of the show.
What was the
heartbeat of the show?
Was it?
You missed the show. If you didn't understand that, you never watched it, Jay.
It wasn't poor old ladies getting together.
Cheesecake. That was the Golden Girls. Okay, let's be real.
No, it wasn't the four of them.
Jay, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Was Gilligan's Island about a place that made there was a paper mill there?
No.
What was Gilligan's
What are you
Island
talking about?
I'm just asking. Well, because you said that.
I know, but I was looking at Golden Girls with respect, not as a porn show.
So here's the hard part to think about, guys. Let's really get our mind around the actual nautical implications of a 3-hour tour. Okay, let's really get our heads behind that. They left Hawaii on a 3-hour tour. Okay, so how far can you go at 20 miles an hour?
Did they leave Miami?
For 3 hours. No, their boat probably went 10 miles an hour.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawaii. They left Hawaii.
They left from Hawaii for 3 hours at 10 miles an hour, which meant the maximum of 30 miles away from their destination. Not that far.
See, as a kid, I never thought about that. All I was thinking about was Marianne.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that other show? It was on the island. Was it not Fantasy Island? That was good too.
That was great.
Yeah.
The plane.
The plane.
And then you got into Magnum PI. Oh,
yes.
I can still watch those now. Those are great.
Egads Magnum.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so Robin Masters was Higgins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Robin Masters was Higgins. No, there was no Robin Masters, the author. It was Higgins, the butler, the whole time. He was the millionaire. He owned the whole property.
Really?
Yeah, he was not the conservator. Higgins was Robin Masters.
Did that come out in the last show? Was that the last show?
Yeah, it was like the big reveal at the end that Higgins was always the guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads us into Dallas and that show. I love Dallas.
And that leads us back to Bill Oakley, who wrote the J.R. Scott episode of The Simpsons.
Which is coming out next Monday. He's
Bill
back.
Oakley
It's right next
that?
Tuesday. No, he wrote
the theme to Dallas.
Oh, on The Simpsons. Okay.
Yes.
Do
he
you know
didn't
the
write
theme
that.
to Dallas, Jay?
Hmm?
Do you know the theme to Dallas? Can you remember it?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, that I get Dynasty mixed up a little bit.
Yeah. What was the other show that competed with them that wasn't Dynasty or Dallas? What was the third one? It was what?
Falcon Place.
Falcon Crest, I think it was.
Falcon Crest.
Yes. Good job.
Yeah, and those are legend shows, dude. And they had the lines on the thing.
You're really old, eh, Beck?
Yeah, I'm older than shit.
You guys are old. Anyways, let's wrap up. Well, that's our we should probably talk to Theresa about all these shows. She's probably like, yeah, I knew that guy.
Wonder
I knew
Woman.
this.
Wonder Woman?
We never talked Wonder Woman.
Boy, Linda Carter looks good at 72.
A recent Calgary poll for best, I think it was late 70s Wonder Woman. I'm not sure. Was it 80s as well? Beck? You probably know.
No, I don't think it was.
It was 70s, eh?
70s.
Oh, the 70s, goodness.
70. So the $6 million man, but not, his wife, Jamie, what was the wife's name?
Well, his name was Lee Majors, so she was
The
Jamie
Bionic
Lee
Woman
Majors.
in the show. Who was the Bionic Woman? Anyway,
I can't remember.
She Wonder Woman, Linda Carter was tops it for every guy that called into the show. Like 70 people called in and 200 voted, and it was Wonder Woman by a long shot.
She wore a bikini.
Back then, that was a lot.
Yeah.
It was.
No, I always like Linda Carter.
Well, gentlemen, what a great show. Let's wrap up because I'm surfing right now.
I think this board's going to be the end of us, guys. I mean, there's any more motion here. Now you just feel like an up and down machine.
You're going to have
be
to
oscillating.
One of those disclaimers on at the beginning of the show.
We used to have to do a disclaimer. Remember, Don?
Lights?
Our first few shows, we used to have to do a disclaimer.
We did. We should. You know what? Tonight we didn't say that this is not a podcast, but I just did. So
we used to have to do a disclaimer, right, Beck? Don't believe the opinions.
I don't think it's a board like this. There you go. All right.
You look like one of those birds, Beck. You know the yellow bird that would drink the water.
Well, Beck, have fun in Seattle. We will see you next. Do we have a show this Thursday?
Are we going somewhere like next week? Is there like a show coming up in May? March?
The National Restaurant Association show in May. Here we go, Dom. How big?
Fields.
Oh, how many booths?
2,100.
Not even close.
2,200. Yes. 2,200.
2,200. And
2,200's right.
And
it's
for
Chicago,
the bonus round, who actually puts on that event? Who owns it?
The National Restaurant Association. Oh, Informa, but National Restaurant Association.
Good job. Good job.
That's the title name of the show, National Restaurant Association.
Yes. But we can put a plug in for our friends at Informa who put on so many great events around the country. Little point of trivia. I think they own the Cannes Film Festival too.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, very cool.
I don't want to verify me on that, especially considering earlier I said there's bad news on the internet. Fact check it.
What's the dates, Jay?
Oh.
May the 17th to the 21st.
In Chicago, McCormick Place. Very cool. Very cool show, right, Jay?
I'm not even looking at my calendar there.
I know. I can
Because
see
it's on his board.
It says Chicago right there. You can go to my board. Anyways, great show, gentlemen.
Sorry,
incredible guest. What?
We're going to be there. We're going to be there.
Well, yeah, we're going to be there.
Who?
Dominic's going to be signing man boobs.
Man boobs.
Man boobs.
I'll be signing girl boobs.
Dom's going to do man
I'm not
boobs.
signing any man boobs. I said it last time. I ain't doing it. I'm still not doing it.
He's going to be giving away swag, goat swag.
But let's put it out there. Bring your boobs and
man boobs.
Show up, right?
No.
We're
equal opportunity. Everybody bring their boobs, and we'll just talk to their face.
No, we have no restriction on boobs.
Yeah.
Man boobs, though.
Do you think we're going to lose our
any sponsorship out the door? We won't be invited. We'll have to do shows later on. We were going to be at the NRA show, the National Wrestling Show.
And then they come and kick us out of the parking lot, right? And say, no, you have to be on the sidewalk.
We'll be busting outside of the show, not in it.
Anyways.
I'll bring my accordion.
Do you have an accordion?
No, I wish it did.
Oh, damn. That would be awesome.
My mom does.
Your mom's got an accordion?
Yeah, 2 of them. She had to play it when she used to entertain the. Never mind.
Oh, there's a story there right now.
Oh, yeah, that's a deep one.
Oh, you can't open that.
I don't want to tell because my mom listens to our shows all the time.
He froze in his steps. There's something juicy behind that accordion tail. He's not telling us.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about
I say audience members write in.
That's a good name for a show, Beck. The Accordion Tales.
The Accordion Tales.
Very cool.
Hey, also just to wrap up. Just to wrap up.
No.
Wrap up. Guys, we gotta go.
Let's close on what the accordion's about.
I want to close with what is the number 48th podcast in hospitality?
I don't know because we moved to 47 by now.
We're taking number 1.
Late
Have
night
you looked at
restaurant
other
show.
stuff?
Huh?
Late night
The other
restaurant show.
podcast? The other podcast? Like, come on. They're like, hey, guys, can we talk about food costs?
I think we need to give respect and credit to our brethren who made it ahead of
I
us.
know.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
all
think
worthy.
what we
No,
should do, we
You're
should play
smarter
both
than us. That's
national-
why.
We should play both national anthems at the beginning of our show.
I think we should layer it on top of each other like an anthem sandwich, or we mix it.
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we'll pitch that to Mr. Trump. We're going to do a blended
Oh,
anthem.
America. No.
Yeah.
After we get off, I'll sing you the song that I like about America. But okay.
You guys even notice my eyebrow was all fuzzy tonight too? Thanks for that.
That's
Anyways.
the one.
I know that. We share a brain. It's okay.
We share a brain. Can I hit the outro, guys? Can we go?
All right.
Because, like right now, we're putting people to sleep.
2, 1.
If you're in your bed now.
Oh, it's supposed to be a segment. You lost it.
Try it again.